Welcome back to Star Trek Online Dyson, and I had to call my mom. Yeah. Call my mom, and I'm full of coffee, and I'm have coffee in my veins, and no homework is done. But I did my homework anyways, because, speedy. But, anywho, enough about what my brilliant life has gone crashing down into. Now, appears to be that I have had a little smackety smack with ESD. Pretty much, I'm going to say this, that I will never do this again. And, I mean, it's... this place is kind of cringe. I'm gonna probably say this, but I haven't been back in ESD for months. And it's pretty ridiculous. So, pretty much, I'm gonna say this, and I pretty much will say this in future videos. ESD. Even if it's a rant or not, it's my pet peeve. I hate being here, and this place sucks. But here we are, because I need a new place to do this video and show you guys this good stuff. Now, before my mom called me, I actually was, streaming and stuff like that, and I had to replace a Mayhem device, and I had to replace a couple other things, and this is pretty much an anti-proton bowel build. So, of course, that involves weapon refractors, and what refractors do. Target. And I have cannon scatter volley on here. I have nothing but cannons and a beam, so of course I'm able to spread my damage, and I'm able to spread it to like hundreds of targets at once, and that's pretty cool, right? So that's pretty much what these are for. The dark matter quantum torpedo. I wish I've been searching for months to find a replacement. I try to think this would be it. No, it's not. I try to find the Terran Task Force. No, it's not. I even try to find some other torpedoes, like the Kelvin. I believe it's the modified Kelvin torpedo. I mean, it does some good. I mean, look at the DPS. Well, I'm not going to say that this is what it actually is, but And the Delphic torpedo, it's kind of on par with the Quantum torpedo, but still, I can't seem to find a replacement. It's too slow, and things die in seconds here in Star Trek Online. Like, if you were to run an ISC, it's already done the minute because it's done. So I guess that's another thing you gotta work on. That's pretty much speed. That's why I have the competitive engines. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, you can't find a replacement, and we're using damage refractors. So of course I have the red matter for the plus 25 and the repairs disabled systems, Iconians, and the temporal negotiator reduces my bridge obstacle cooldown no matter the specialization. The subspace field modulator for the damage resistance buff, and the Peregrine fighters for some extra support. I need cheerleaders in my life. So we have of course we have the regular loadout, the DPS loadout, which of course the core is switched out to mycelium for extra survivability, the competitive engine for the speed buff, the elite fleet inversion for the crit chance and crit severity, and Tilly's modified shield for the shield, of course, for the shield penetration and increased shield damage. I have my little royal guards, which they are called elite Terran Empire frigates. They're the best debuff pets in the game, and they can only be equipped on the Acheron or sticks. I have decentralized immunity because I pretty much found that I pretty much use a lot more tactics for it, and I try to use the protomatter and that healing concept from the Sansur, and even with both of those, the feedback pulse still kills me. So with this, I'm immune to all kinds of damage, any shape or form, and no matter if like time bending, space, or even Wesley Crusher can't kill me with it, and stuff like that. Makes me immune to all kinds of damage. If the drone is destroyed within the 10 seconds or before 10 seconds is even up, of course it'll cut the time in half, or even so it'll be, and because I have unconventional system triggers, it'll just give it back immediately. I have this to cut sentry mode off because it's been a glitch for 2 years, or 3 years to be exact, that I can't turn sentry mode off, and I got it because of course I need a lazy boat, and this is what I need to complete the theme. So I have multi-directional artillery barrage for the 360-degree torpedo spread, and it's on par with most torpedoes in the game, so it's not that bad. I have sentry mode, which is pretty much the main console for a lazy boat, and of course it summons like 10 sentries around your ship, and it fires in a 360-degree spiral, and it's insane, and it's absolutely freaking ridiculous. And it has some passive for anti-proton damage. The Bio Sentry Coordination, it does 35 anti-proton damage and some hull capacity, and it's for that 2-piece set with the omnidirectional beam in the back. And of course, it gives 100% bonus damage to the hull, to the bow refraction. That's what I was trying to say. But of course, I have hull refraction. I have that mix up between those two. It's like calling your kids two of the same name, and then you're like, Joyce, yes. No, the other Joyce. Oh. So I have two tactical consoles because they're, of course, I'm going to say this, you need to have one of the two. You need to have one of the two. This comes off the Temporal Escort, the TOS Temporal Escort. You can find that in the K13 fleet, or you can actually just buy it yourself on ESD for, I think it's like 63 Zen or something like, not Zen, 63 dilithium, which is pretty cheap. In my case, it is freaking cheap. If you're part of a fleet, it'll be this, of course. It's pretty much like 72 or something, but you know, if you have if you're in a fleet, you get that stuff discounted for like 60 or more. So depends on your fleet. Domino from the Joint Interceptor. This thing is pretty much omnipotent. It is insanely good, and I recommend this along with the DPRM console, which I do not have. But of course, people say that it's good, and I'm not going to get it. No. Because my next event ship is the Zentaur. So we have some defensive drone guardians for additional support. Now, of course, this happens a lot, and this happens a lot in the Pavo and the Draenor runs, where you've like fight waves and waves and waves and waves of enemies, endless waves of enemies, and you have to do that for at least like 8 to 10 minutes at most. 8 maximum is 10. Minimum is 8, depending on what the game is feeling right now. And sometimes it could be 5 minutes, which is kind of disappointing. And also, it could be within the not those battle zones, but anyway, scratch those. But the Draenor and the Pavo mission, not the Pavo and the Draenor TFOs. My English is bad, so forgive me if I start speaking mumblish or gibberish or English or Spanish or whatever, French, Dutch, or German, whatever the fuck. So, yeah, any of those. So, anyways, get too close to your ship. That's not good. That's a no-no. That's like, yo, you're in my comfort zone. Get away from me. You deploy these. There you go. And some of them will try to reach. Some of them will try to go to off to the side to get to not go near your ship, and that's pretty smart of a tactic. But that does not work because of course I wanted to use the Kelvin. Of course I want to use the broadside barrage from the Vengeance. That of course it does some good. Does some good, like killing some enemies from the side. But you know, that's what the drones are for. So it's a pretty good tactic, but you know, Sentry Mode's got it. So onward. Sensor suppression burst off the Jurok. You can get that off MUDs right now for an insanely stupid price. I wish they had those individually, but you know, MUDs market is expensive. There's no way you can't get anything off MUDs without trying to pour in $3,000 or two. Yeah. He's expensive. Swarmer Matrix. This is only for the passive, which is for my pets, 30 bonus damage. Projectile weapon training, which is more projectile weapon damage. Somebody is probably in my vicinity. Get the hell away from me. Like, wow. Get away from me. 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 Move. Get away from me. You stupid bastard. Jesus Christ. I don't like ESD, and this is why. People, like, they're pretty much all up in your business, and they argue about politics all day. And they pretty much make the worst gore puns and cat puns ever. Oh, except for the cat puns. Those are pretty hilarious. But the Gorn puns, they are so bad that you could pretty much want to take a shotgun and just, I don't know, self-blast in the head. Is that good enough for what I'm trying to put out? It's pretty bad. Like, the Gorn puns are that bad. And people here, they don't leave you alone. Like, I could be on top of ESD, and I've been here for, like, what? I believe, like, 20-something minutes, and somebody already in a vengeance wants to bother me and say, hey, nice ship. Cool, thanks. Fuck off. So, yeah, that's something else. But, anyway, the last console, which is my favorite amongst all the favorites among all favorites, is the... God, forgive me. Harmonic Yield Distributor via Radical Aperture, also known as the Hydra. Would have sounded simpler if they just made it just the Hydra, but you know how that is. SDO just loves making stuff like that. I hate long names. But the reason why is because both things, it's passive and the Hydra itself. So, no matter what, and of course, it all depends on the situation you're in and how many pets you have, including the Sentry mode. Oh yeah, Sentry mode. And all that combined into one, you get some phaser damage. And I'm seen by like a shit ton of phaser damage. And your ship itself fires 3 times. If it's like all your ships have spinal lances. And this has to go with everything with an engine. And that includes the immunity console. That counts. So that's a plus for me. That is a plus. So we're pretty much going to go on with bridge officer seating. Unconventional systems on top. Tactical. Pretty much we have like tactical and cursive sharing. This is just a heal. Not a heal. Well, it's a heal, but it removes all my damage over time. And my entropy effects. Which needs of the few, or quote from Ambassador Spock. Yeah, drain. Thank God. Thank God for that. And also immunity to shield drain for this one, which is reverse shield polarity, which gives me a fighting chance against the Borg, which is good. And I'm immune to teleport, so the Voth won't be able to teleport me. Phew. And I have emergency powered engines is because of this. Emergency evasive maneuvers. That's the only reason why I have it. It instantly recharges evasive maneuvers 3, and I'll be able to use it 100% of the time. So, we're going to go ahead and go to the specializations part, which it is pretty messy. Of course, it's all carrier focused and stuff like that, and some of them are not really up to par, along with like most meta builds and stuff like that, so forgive me if you wish. So we have relaunch and repair. It does some recharge time for captain abilities every time you launch a hangar pet, every time you launch your hangar, or every time you launch hangar or whatever, and stuff like that. And it has some health regeneration for your hangar pets and to yourself. And Calm Before the Storm, the internet hurts. Calm Before the Storm, you get some fire cycle haste. Strike Group Command Authority, you get some bonus damage for whatever summon you have is the biggest, which is multi-vector or saucer or frigate or fighter. Biggest thing you get me? Target rich environment off the Vengeance. And I'm gonna tell you this is just relaunch and repairs off the most of the stuff is like C-store stuff, and 2 of them are and I believe 3 of them are promo stuff. So of course you have like 3 C-store and 3 promo. So this is off the Jem'Hadar Vanguard Carrier, which is $30. Calm Before the Storm, that is from the flight deck carrier, the Cardassian flight deck carrier, that is $30. And Command Strike Group Authority, that's off the Hydra Intel Destroyer, that is $30. This is off the Vengeance, which is, your butt's gonna burn, your wallet is gonna burn, plus your butt, because, they both feel the same, it hurts. So, Target rich environment gives a stack of energy weapon damage every time Fire Will and Counter Scatter Volley is active, and it stacks up to 30 times, so 30 bonus damage. Tearing Goodbye, every time you defeat an enemy, you get some accuracy and crit chance for 20 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. And I have regeneration cycle to keep myself alive every time I use a engineering, science, or tactical bridge officer ability, and it does a 10-second recharge, and it's via Borg technology. I love the Borg sometimes because, of course, their healing technology is obsolete. And some space reputation. In the space reputation, I have dire duality, I have perception, I have advanced targeting systems, Aaron's efficiency, and the velocity Antinors, or whatever the frick that is. As for ground abilities, ignore that. Personal space traits, I have a good day to die, so that way I can be able to use this 100% of the time. The intelligence agent Taché, every time I make a critical hit, I restore 2% of my Captain recharge abilities, and it recharges 1.30 seconds, which is pretty good. Adaptive offense, it turns my crit chance into crit severity, or I think it's my crit severity into crit chance. No, it's the opposite. Crit chance at a crit severity. Boiler effect, recharge for all my stuff. Recharge for all my bridge officer abilities every time I use a bridge officer ability. Weird. Unconventional systems. It gives 7% recharge for my universal consoles, which is like the meta trait in the game right now. Like, I don't think anything can replace it until they come up with some whack job for that, because you're able to use your consoles 100% of the time, which means more DPS. So that's good. Eyes of the Swarm, it's for my hanger pads for perception, and adaptive defense for the, of course, the 40 damage resistance rating divided by the number of foes who are targeting you, which I don't know how many. Wing Commander, it makes a 100% rank up for my hanger pads and stuff like that. The more XP it ranks up, the more damage it does. Think about that. And this shortens that. It shortens that in half. So you're able to reach rank 5 a lot faster. Think of that. Superior cannon training, cannon weapon damage, and make it go. Insane buffs. Insane buffs. Insane buffs. So, and of course you guys want to know what the other is. Well traveled. Cooldown on transport. So I have some space stuff, which you won't really be seeing these anytime soon. You won't be seeing me use those. No. So what I have is Miracle Worker and Temporal Operative. Because this is a Dreadnought carrier, I need some heals, and not to mention I am a person who likes to stay alive, and I love to stay alive because I don't want to die. I'm tired of dying. You ever get tired of dying in a video game over and over and over again? Like Jedi Fallen Order, it doesn't frustrate me because I'm new to the game already, but I die so many times. But because of my brother's stupidity, that's the reason why the reason why I didn't go nuts. So if I was playing by myself, yeah, I would have went nuts. Temporal Operative because of Atropic Rider, which is right there. Of course, it has physical damage, which juices up the recursive shearing, which is a good thing. And that is pretty good. So, I believe the one thing that I really like when it comes to this carry build, of course, I do not have the immolating phaser lance, and I do not have superior aerial denial. I believe superior aerial denial is the only trait that is missing. It is the reason why carry builds are so good. And the reason why I'm not using Alliance Fighter Squadrons is because I do not have Superior Air Denial. No Superior Air Denial, no Fighter Squadrons. And of course I have these right here, ready to go for next week. And I should have made it an updated part of it. But I'm going to pretty much let you guys know. Whatchamacallit. I'm going to just say that it's named, and I will probably get yelled at because I don't have it. Now, I'm gonna probably say use the whatchamacallit. I can't say you can use you can use whatever you want to use if it's a carrier and stuff. If you want to use that, fine. Like who cares? Who gives a shit? But I'm gonna tell you this: carriers need serious help, and not dreadnought carriers or flight deck carriers, like regular carriers. And I'm gonna probably tell you this: like it's Rhinodair, it's the Aspro, it's the Jupiter itself. Many of them, they need help. So, stuff like that. And I wish I could disable chat, but you know what I can do? I can do this. Yeah. But anyways, because I don't really like seeing chat and stuff, it's a bunch of, I'm gonna just say that like 90% of its community is a bunch of old people who barely know how to, who barely read the game dialogue and then say this is it. Well, I'm gonna say that some of them are pretty much content creators. Oh well, some of them, I mean by like 3. That's like literally how many there are, and they're really smart people. Well, I'm gonna say 4 because of I've recently watched this other guy who does like a lot of good build videos, and he pretty much got me into the, and is the reason why I got that shield meta trait. I think it's Casual HAB. That's his name. But yeah, that is literally his, but his stuff is really flat out detailed. And that's fine with me. So, of course, I want to test this, and actually I am going to try to test this. See if anybody wants to, well, I'm not going to actually ask everybody, because pretty much ESD is just, it's packed, and it's racist, and it's ugly. And I don't like it here. It's like saying you want to be at your favorite birthday party, but then all of a sudden it's like, I wish I tried Dry Gauntlet by myself, because I get to do waves and waves of enemies. But I'm going to try to be smart about this. I'm going to do Pearl over Pavo. And the reason why I'm going to do it is because it's going to be a little bit risky. And I'm going to say this, because I'm going to be by myself. And half the community is stupid. The reason why I say that's stupid is because, like, okay, say for instance you got the middle part, right? Your ship is strong enough, it's beef enough, and it's fast enough, and it can hit hard like a truck. Some person comes in to help you, even though you don't need the help. You literally tell them like 5 times to go away, you don't need the help. And they go in and help you anyway, which is ironically like they saying like, oh, so I'm weak. That's pretty much my old version of it. Like, I don't like, it's like saying, oh, you need help. You need help with your homework, even though you're smart. Like, you're the smartest man alive, and I'm gonna help you with your homework. That's basically my description. So, we're gonna be doing a run on this. Like, a singular run on this stuff. And I believe we have, like, 2 waves. This is the first wave, and stuff like that. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I'm gonna. I hope I expect Terran Empire stuff, because I hate those Mokai ships, which pretty much send your ship half across the galaxy with those with that thingy. I don't know, with that ionic turbulence effect. So I pretty much hope it's not Mokai. So here we go. And it's Terran Empire. Good. Alright, so I want you guys to go ahead and enjoy.
pretty sure not.
Alright, so I believe that's all for the video. So,
To wear a
see you later.
button-down shirt and black pants.